Hopefully in this presentation, if you get one thing from it, I'll be so happy, but hopefully you'll get a lot more than that. Because I want to share, getting through this time is going to be my fun thing. Okay, so this is about the law of attraction and how to use it personally and professionally. So we've all heard of the law of attraction, but there's how to use it. It really taps, the main component is your imagination. We've not been taught how to use it, and we've not been taught how to use the law of attraction. There's so much about it out there, but we're not taught how to use it. But that's what I teach people how to do, is tap into their imagination and use it. So let's see, my 45 seconds was starting to get you to tap into your imagination. So, who am I? Yes, I've got two gorgeous daughters. My eldest is a nurse. My youngest is just finished her teaching, and she's got schools ringing her for work, which is absolutely fantastic. We have a dog and my fur babies. We got a new kitten earlier this year who drives us insane. But I'll go back. I wasn't always like this. I suffered from anxiety, depression. My life was a living hell. I was in a jail in my mind, and it was not fun. And I was locked up for 12 days in hospital, didn't think I would be getting out. But my life has changed from night to day, and if I can do it, anybody can. From where I was to where I am now. I've now got a business I'm studying nationally, which is just really going to keep things out of the water. But the program that I facilitate, that I found when I was in my darkest state, was the program that I facilitate now, and it's life-changing enormously. So I went from being the same as Bob, being sick, broke, and very unhappy, to loving my life, becoming so healthy, paying off enormous debt that I had no idea how I was ever going to do that. And now running two businesses, which is actually more. I've got a couple more going on in the background as well. But I tapped into Bob's material, and I also get a lot from Esther Hicks and from Joe Dispenza. I love science, and I love the science behind all of this. What I'm talking and explaining isn't just made up stuff. It is science-based and science-proven. Bob studied Think and Grow Rich. He came across this book over 61 years ago and studied it up to the last day of his life. And it's not about reading 100 books once. It's about reading one book 100 times and really understanding it. This is like the Bible of successful people and what they did. And they used the law of attraction, and it explains it all in here. But it's tapping into your imagination, really tapping into it and using it. So if you think you can or think you can't, either way you're right. And it's all about that word think. Most people don't think. You have mental activity, you've got thoughts coming in, and a lot of the time you're accepting them. But challenge them. Is this real? Is it true? You thought of your goal earlier, and I asked you to 10 times it. What limiting beliefs came up for you? How is that going to happen? How am I going to do that? That's not possible. We have these limiting beliefs that we've been programmed with from birth all the way through our lives. You've got 60 to 80,000 thoughts coming through your mind continually every day, and they're usually the same. It's around 96 to 98% of those thoughts are the same as yesterday, as the day before, as the day before. And you're on repeat. We wake up every day and continue the same as what we did yesterday. But I help people start a new life, a second life, when they start working with me. And it's like magic. I tear up when I get goosebumps when my clients turn up as new people every week when we catch up, and I'm going to invite one of them up later, and we're going to talk about that. Most people don't know how to make decisions, or they don't have directions in life, or their goal is too small. A lot of people think they can have 5 or 10% improvement, but I help people get 100, 200, 500% improvement in their life, in their results, relationships, in their workplace. I had one of my clients, she had 3 pay rises in the first 3 months that we were working together, and one of them was dated back to the day we started. was, magical. But a lot of people are frustrated and annoyed because their goals aren't big enough and they're not achieving what they want to achieve. But I just change all that. We're all energy. You're a mass of energy, and it's been photographed. You've got more energy in your little finger to light up a city, and we play small. I help people turn that volume up, turn the energy up, and really light up their goals, really create big goals and achieve them. 10 times their productivity. So everything is energy. This, as I said, isn't just made up, it's science, it's been studied. We are energy. You are attracting to you what you think about. So if you go away, remember that quote at the beginning. If you think you can or think you can't, either way you're right. So your energy is, you are vibrating by the thoughts you think, the imagination that you have turned on, what you're imagining, whether you can or whether you can't. You're capable of doing anything. It would astound you if you realised what you were capable of. But it's not philosophy, it's physics, it's science. So I handed out I hope everybody got one. We've got a few more people here than I thought. But you've got a power coming through you, and it's thought, it's your imagination. But what it does is it goes through filters. It goes through the filter of your intellectual mind, but it also goes through your subconscious mind, which is your programming. All the beliefs that you build up throughout your life, whether you're worthy, whether you're important enough, whether you're good enough. So you can have ideas like 10 times in your goal, but do you believe you can do that? That's what it comes down to. Really does. So if you don't believe you can do something, you're over on the negative side of your, this is science, I won't get into it, but I can if anybody wants to know more about this. But you're in a closed mind when you think, I can't do that. That's too hard. I want to win that, but I never win anything. I want to win that, but I never win anything. So your mind's closed, you're pushing it away or you're stopping it from coming in. But if you flip over, knowing how this works, and you say, okay, I really want to win that. Yeah, maybe I could. What if I did? And you start to get on that side of it, you're an open mind and you are attracting the ways to do that. You don't need to know how when you first start thinking of your goal. You've just got to want to do it. Anyway, so my program is the key to unlocking the power to your imagination, and it opens the door for everything that you want in your life. With ease. So I have one of my clients, we finished up a couple of weeks ago, John Herneman. Will you please come up? John was at my last presentation here and made the decision, yes Sue, it's time. We've been talking about working together, and John decided to say yes and take that leap of faith. So come here, John. I'm just going to ask John a few questions and he can explain a little bit, because some of you probably don't have any idea about what I do or how it works, and you don't need to know how, you just got to know that you're worth it. Know that you are so capable of having more in your life. So John.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming. But I want John to explain a few of the wins that happen, and that's how we start our session every week is, tell me your wins. We're not used to bragging. We've sort of been told to stop showing off, that's bragging, but I encourage it big time. So you are allowed to brag.
Well, I'm a bit like you, I don't really believe in bragging. I just think, it's happened, that's fantastic, isn't it? That's a great win, move on.
Yes. So John does play himself down a little bit, and that can be, I want to encourage you to, you've got time to, really go for it.
Whatever.
Sometimes people who work with me, their life's not that bad, it's pretty good, but they know they can do better. So John, where were you when we first started?
Oh, life's pretty good. I've had a fortunate life. I've got loving people around me. I've done okay in business, quite well in business actually. Professionally, I've done really well, good reputation. But I think life's a mind game, and I really wanted to elevate that, escalate that in every area of my life. And I've wanted to do something like this for a long time, and here I am.
So, mentioning your relationships, did they improve at all?
How could you improve from perfection? Look, I've got Susie, you know Susie, she's terrific, I'm very lucky. I've got 3 kids who are fantastic. We brought up 3 really great kids. And they're in their early 30s now. I'm a grandfather now, which is even better. So, and I've got a mother-in-law who's really struggling with, we talked before about Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff like that, hearing loss and a whole bunch of that stuff. And she's had a couple of forces. She's the person we need to focus on.
Yep. So I'm giving you permission to brag now. So what improved, or how long did things take to start to improve?
Since I started.
Since we started working together.
I don't know. Difficult to really put your finger on it, but a couple of months maybe.
Yep.
3, maybe 3. Yeah, 2.
Yep. Because I can remember once, because John's mic didn't work in the beginning, so he had to sit and listen to me the whole time. The feedback wasn't there, but I remember calling you on that call and saying, John, I really want to hear your wins. What's going on? What's been happening? And your response was that you were quite excited about the avalanche of, and it was your word, the avalanche of work that was coming through.
Well, it's not only the work, but a couple of other wins too. I wanted to do a development. Figured out how to do this development. We're talking 10 stories, so it's not chicken feed. And all of a sudden this guy rings up and starts talking about how we're going to fund it. I just couldn't believe it, at the right time, like not in a year's time or in a week's time, but now. Stuff like that happens. And Joseph came to us because I put it out into the universe that I wanted somebody with your description, and Joseph's sitting there in front of me.
That was a Monday, you put that out, and the Tuesday.
Well, I can't be right because you met Anthony on the weekend.
Exactly right.
Yeah, Anthony said to you the next day, I've got somebody.
That's right.
Yes,
So Anthony spoke to him Sunday. Anthony told me about it on Tuesday, and I think you were in my office
Wednesday.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't explain that to me. I don't know. And we've got a couple of other people waiting in the wings who want to come and work with us. We're not ready to embed them yet because we're changing the culture.
Yeah, and you also mentioned, because I've got to wrap this up, there were a lot of things that started happening with ease.
Yeah.
Phone calls were being made to you about projects that you wanted to start or get involved in.
Yeah.
And even, has it stopped since we stopped working together?
Totally.
Right, be honest.
No, it hasn't. Yesterday, somebody came to Albie and I and said, John, I've come here, I want to talk to you. I want you to sort out a project that she's been involved in that's turned to complete mush. What can we do? She's a lawyer, she's a property and a construction lawyer, she's really, really good. What can we do to sort this out? So I didn't do anything about that, just locked, and we'll sort it out. Somebody will wipe the dust over it.
So everything you wanted just started flowing into your life.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
The law of attraction. This is how
It's
it
true.
works. And with ease.
You'll talk about vibration to all these people at some point, and that's actually what it is. Yeah.
So
it does work.
okay. So, bottom line of your what's been going on in the business, has it really
Well, I don't want to
improved?
die wondering. I could retire if I wanted to. I just think I'd be really, really bored. I wound back a few years ago and I didn't like that. So I'm back in full harness, but I'm pushing it over to other people to do stuff. I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to continue doing our development, and I love advising people on how to improve their property and improve their wealth.
Yeah. So
I've written a book which is almost ready to publish.
Yes, which John had on his bucket list for years to do.
And you've helped me with getting some of the
Yeah.
images sorted out.
So
Thank you,
it
Joseph.
really
Yeah.
just gets you doing things, improves your productivity multiple.
Yeah.
But there was, you've been in business for years.
Yep.
But
Been around the block.
So during working with us, has business well and truly improved?
Oh, I've got a target for that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But John was talking about having his best week, but it was his best month. in business.
Was it? Let's see, I forget those things. I've moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's,
so,
it's
so yeah, no,
multiplied to millions.
it has happened. Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, we've got a lot of work on. It's a queue. We just take our time about what we do and how we go.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Mm.
Thank you, John.
Well, yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Thanks, John. You know, things can happen in leaps and bounds really quickly, and it happens with ease. It's not, you know, 10 times your productivity, 10 times harder. No, it's usually 10 times easier when you use the laws. So here's some referrals for me. Really looking at working with corporate now, because it can really make a big difference. And so, if you're not willing to risk the unusual, you will settle for the ordinary. Thank you. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Just think about what side you're on more often than not.
Fantastic.